Howdy, Aishna. Afternoon.
Are you on
If
there?
you're looking at this broadcast, I have a few questions over here. Which I need some help in. I'm doing this video on Facebook, and it's supposedly provides a link that one can copy and put onto my website, right? How do I do that? Hi, Matthew. Honey, bonjour. Glad to have you here. That's number one. That's the gist of it. So the dash cam, there actually might be some folks like me that aren't familiar with it. This is what you put on the dash of your vehicle, of your car, and it records anything in front. In my case, it's has two lenses on it, one for 360 swivel, so you can pretty well watch behind you and in front at the same time. Now, this particular model here has a micro USB. Honey Shirley, John, Zindig Burton, Ethel, Jason. So I take this cord like this. The USB fits like so. Fits fine. And they're kind of fussy, these things. And you turn it on. You'll see it turn on eventually. And there it is. And that's the lovely tune it plays. Yes. So now I'm recording myself, and you're watching me recording myself. On two lenses. So I go from here to USB, but it doesn't show up on my computer. That's the tech help I need. How come this doesn't show up? You know, when you plug in any device on your computer and your laptop, it's supposed to show. My question is, I misplaced. Hey, Jody. Cool, man. Miss you too, my friend. That's Jody from DUP, Michigan, USA. Perhaps you can all tell me where you are, and I'll announce you once you tell me where you are. So that's the gist of my first request. Number two, you can tell I have a GoPro over here. So with an extended handle, I'm a bit of a techie here. Love playing around with stuff. And this is the charger for that dash cam. Plugs into your outlet in the vehicle. And then, but there's a USB cord coming out of here that's supposed to plug into your camera, which it does, but not really, because this end over here is on the same size as what's on my dash cam. So which tells me, I'm guessing, that I have the wrong cable. So, how you doing, John? This is my place here, folks. Glad you're here. How's the audio? Ha 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 to you too, cool man. Anyhow. So that's what's on my quandary today. So I've been fooling around with that for the past little while. plus I've been updating my website with videos. So the videos that I created, this one over here, I want to upload to my kempetwanequit.com site under videos. Now, at some point when I finish this post, Elisa, honey, Elisa, nice to see you. Elisa is now the one in, I don't know where you are now, Elisa. Are you still in Michigan? Maybe not. John Grumps, hey, honey, glad you're all here. I like fooling around with this stuff, and we can talk about nothing. We don't have to talk about anything. We can talk about funny stuff. We can talk about stuff. I can take your question, Lisa, honey, and just have fun. And some of you, like we've never met. Burton, I know from way back. Remember Burton? Remember Martin? Who's my brother-in-law, and he's no longer with us. That's when we first met. I'm talking about the 70s, folks. I'm talking to Burton over here. And man, we go back a way, and a lot of people are no longer here. And I give my prayers and regards to the families, their families left behind. Many a times there'll come a prayer request for surgery, or somebody's in dire straits. And I always try to respond. I say a little prayer. I say, "Not the one, and that's all I can do. So I know the universe is circular. What goes around comes around. So I've done, and then I respond on the keyboard. I say, done. Usually I keep it brief. We're all busy. We're all very busy. Jody, you're in grad school. I'm glad you are. August graduation. Congratulations. Jody, then taking a trip to the Canadian Res to visit my niche friend Ken. You heard it here first, folks. Oh wow, Mercedes, honey, from Sagamok. Sagamok is 2 hours down the road from here. Many good friends there. Mercedes, audio is great. Yeah, I bought these headphones. They're gamer headphones. I don't play games, but some of you may or may not know I have hearing issues. I wear 2 hearing aids, so I can't hear very well, and I don't project very well sometimes with the voice into the little rinky-dink microphone on these laptops. So I got a good one, and got this from the local store over here in Wiki, and I've been using it. Bonjour, Daniel. Daniel's from Lake of the Woods, Kenora area. Bonjour. Nice to meet you, my friend. I met Daniel at a Chiefs of Ontario conference. I believe it was on education, and I was set up as a vendor selling my book. And as often happens in this line of work, let me take these off. I think it's giving a glare. I've run across people that have parallel events in their lives where they lose a child, for example, and that's my story later on in life. So I was set up as a vendor there, and he came out, and I signed it for him, and very happy, and gave him a hug. And oh yeah, I remember him photographing it and posting it on Facebook. So that was appreciated. The autograph and the recognition, but he was happy because I know he lost a child. So it's not a nice topic to be talking about, I realize, in today's society. But I will talk about it. I do talk about it, but I don't want to be limited to that. I want to talk about graduations and education and sports and your questions. I'll try and entertain. You know what? If I take these off, I can't see my screen. So here I go again. Um, Thanks, Jody. She said, I've sent many prayers up for you and your family. Ken, always in my thoughts. I have to get going. Please take care, my friend. Okay, Jody. Pimi na ako, man. Good. That's Jody has to run. And I'm surprised, actually, some of you actually make the time and have the time to sit here. And you have no place to go. You're stuck at home. You're housebound for whatever reason. But I want to thank all the good people in my life. We're setting up a workshop in Toronto this next few months or so on frontline workers who work for groups that attend to family matters that all have to do with grief and sadness and the turmoil all of that brings, whether it be in a family service setting or social service setting or education. I mean, it's everywhere. You don't have to be limited to one group or a group to be feeling sad and all the turbulence that comes with it. So more on that later. I'll post something as we know. I have a promoter down south who will get this organized, and so I have some good help. I have some good support, and I'm happy for that. For those of you, I'm about 7-8 hours on a good day away by car to Toronto, one way. So, and Fred, for example, over there, I don't know if he's still with us, but or Daniel. I said Fred, didn't I? I was thinking about Fred Kelly, Daniel. I met him back in the 70s. Not that he would remember me, but I remember Richard Wagamisi's book, and I was wondering if that was the same Fred Kelly he was talking about in his book. I had to do a review for an author event down in Owen Sound, Ontario area, and one of the conditions was that I had to read Indian Horse by Richard Wagamisi. It's very well written, and Richard is no longer with us. He's an author from. He was an author from the Great Lakes or the Rainy Lake area, Kenora. So he was about the same age as I was. Then he had to go home. Inigia, as we call it. So when I knew Fred, he was the education director for what was called Treaty 3 back then. And he came up, or we met some conference, not, I wouldn't say we were best buds or anything, but we sort of associates crossing paths. And he was given presentations on recreation initiatives for the reses, the communities up in Treaty 3 area. Hey, Josh. Hey, Josh, how's the moose? Josh from Wiki over here is a moose hunter. Every once in a while, he posts moose, mozo, as we say it in the language, of his hunting adventures, expeditions, and good for you, Josh. That's how we say George. Josh, good for you. So, Josh, we're not talking about anything particular over here, but I was asking for help as what it says there. I don't know if you guys can, I don't know how it works on the other side. If you can read, I was asking for tech support, tech help on getting material from this downloaded to my computer, and how come I can't see it on my computer, and upload the videos. Just one of those things that's been bothering me. I'm saying I'm a tech fussy guy. That's a recorder. So, my friend Barb, How you doing, Barb? I hope you're feeling better. Last time I was talking to Barb Delgado, she was feeling very ill, quite ill. Yes, she attended the Chiefs of Ontario Education Conference last week in Toronto, and she sold at least three of my books, maybe more. I'll keep it at three. And that's something. So she's a great sharing section for my work. And I was telling people earlier, Barb, that we're working on getting us down there, down south, and organizing some sort of a 2-day workshop with healthcare providers, people in front lines, people working with families, in distress, niche families, some of my families. Still got a bad cough, eh, Barb? Oh boy. Yeah, nice to see you too. Nice to see you here. Surprising how many people. I mean, hey, you're in Minneapolis, Alyssa. Good for you. Grad school. What are you taking? These are my students, folks. For those of you that, when I was teaching at the university, Northern Michigan University, these are all people that I worked with. They were my students, and many of them not on here today, but maybe some of them are. I haven't seen any really, but they have maybe. Received jobs, got onto jobs because they took the language. And secured careers. I know of at least 2 or 3, because my colleagues down there, people from here, Howard Kimwan, for example, and Leonard Kimwan, they tell me that they still apply the language that they learned from me in the few short hours that we had time together, and they can speak niche, folks, by using a style that was developed by a fellow by the name of Neoxet Grey Morning out of Montana. I forget which tribe he's at. But anyway, he came up, and I went down to Missoula, Montana to take that course. You got to be taught how to do this. And so how I managed to teach the language was through his graces and through his work, through his expertise. I certainly couldn't have been as successful, and in turn, my students successful in their careers without Neoxet Grey Morning out of University of Montana at Missoula. So I want to say miigwech to everybody in my life that's around. Ani Sandra, Dan Ward, bonjour Dan, Danielle, Waje, Danielle from way up Hudson Bay, foot of Hudson Bay. Wow. Say Waje to your hubby there, and gosh, so nice to see you guys actually here. Alyssa, you're working on a master's in teaching English to speakers of other languages in higher ed, working with international students. That's university speak for grad students and up. Higher education, teaching in universities at the graduate or postgraduate level and beyond, PhD level. Yes, miigwech, Daniel. I'm glad. Daniel says, I'm glad that you're still helping people, and good to see you. So that's from Daniel up in Treaty 3 area. So it's fun just doing this, and I'll stay on. As I said over here, I was asking, I'll take questions. If you want to type a question in there, I'll do the best I can. I always tell people, if I know the answer, I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'm not going to make one up. It's just the right way of doing things. So I have fun. So as I said, the only reason I'm on here is a test over here if I can upload this to my website, kenpetwanica.com. So, what's new down in the big city, Dan? Danielle, the geese have gone by Hudson Bay. Danielle, any moose left? Man, oh man, it's too late for moose this season. Got a pickup truck and everything. But the snows came, even though we tried. The snow came late. Wikagizok pa. Wikagibogam pa. Wash me on go. So that was the gist of my time over here, and I'm appreciate your prayers, appreciate your help, appreciate you sitting down and listening. What can I say? I guess the purpose behind these broadcasts is just to say miigwech to all the people that have been there for me and supporting other people. You know, the universe, what goes around comes around. So I always try to say and do good things and support people and say nice things about them and applaud their accomplishments and try to be there when they're in their low times, as people have been in mine. And that's all I'm trying to do here. And I just want to acknowledge all those people. Stephen McPhail wrote a book on a screenplay, actually. Derek Stephen McPhail. He contacted me from an Inca pyramid in Mexico, I'll say 2 weeks ago. Before he could enter that site, he had to go for a fast. I think he said it was 4 days. And the energy, the power of those temples, just like missing over here, is so powerful, so intense. One has to continually prepare themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically for the ordeal. I remember one time going to the mounds in Peterborough, and I couldn't enter them because it was just too immense, intense, and too strong. So, and with me was a nurse, a Anishinaabe nurse. And I asked her, "Are you feeling what I'm feeling?" We looked at each other and she says, "Yeah," till we turned around and left. I haven't been back since. But some of us who are niche, not just niche, but anybody who is attuned to the powers of the universe can feel the powers of any given place and the entities and the people and the spirits that live there and reside there. That's why we call Manitoulin Island Minido-ness. Minido can be, there's no English translation for that. It's spirit, but the English translation doesn't do it. And it's just not a word. It's not just a myth. It's just not a made-up thing. It's real. It's real. Just like you feel the, or not, the gravity. Gravity is real. I think we all agree on that. And this winter will turn into spring. That's real. Hopefully, it will happen, and that's beyond our control. And it's just something that's alive. It's alive. Modet. So yeah, that's what we do, and we feel that. So we feel it off the earth, and we also feel it off people. In my case, if I get the sense that somebody is in whatever turmoil, they have a inclination to lean that way or this way, I'll feel it. And it either makes me happy and I want to join them, or I just want to back off and walk away. So, and let them be. Mano is a saying in our culture. They'll find their way. Used to be that we helped each other a lot, and still there, very, very much so. But remember that? We used to go around every New Year's Eve and morning, shaking hands. Every house we visited, the whole idea was to meet people and get treats. It's like Halloween, I guess, but it was like shaking hands and wishing people Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New. Some people would say Happy New. So that's no longer around, is it? And I was talking to an elder about that at the local store here not too long ago. And there we shook hands. Happy New. She said to me. She's right. So, this last power outage we had over here, I felt good. For folks that don't know, we had a power outage, and I think the planned power outage I'm talking about, the last one, Saturday night, we got there, and following morning, 7 a.m., whatever it was, and people have been there already since 4 a.m., and some people have been working all night. But I saw so many smiling faces, including mine. I could feel my smile. I gave my cousin a hug, and people were smiling at each other and happy to just see each other and visit. Because we didn't have electricity, folks. That means no electricity for, I don't know, 12 hours, something like that. No, maybe I'm exaggerating. 12 till 6, they said. It came on about 7:15 a.m., so it wasn't too bad. But the one weekend before that, we had a fire, which you can read about on my blog, and I took a few pictures. That was not pleasant. But it's at events like that where we need to rely on each other, help each other out. And perhaps like me, I'm sitting over here, we're all too insulated. Honey Cliffy. Hey, Mr. Bolo. WCUP, Baraga, Michigan, on the KBIC Indian Community Res, Beartown, we call it. How you doing, Bolo? I'm testing, Bolo, I'm testing this, and how come I can't, it's a webcam, dash cam. How come I can't upload and to my laptop here? Am I using the wrong cord, which I think it is? And how do I get this show that we're doing now up onto my website? So I'm just experimenting over here and talk about nothing and everything and something. So, and Bolo, some of our colleagues, student colleagues, joined us from down there. Jody, remember Jody? Lissa? Oh, Lissa. When we were in class, we keep each other's nicknames just for fun, okay, in class for that particular class. So every class, every student had a nickname. So I says, don't make a big, long nickname like flying over the rainbow, which is nestled between two mountain peaks. I says, I can give you that, but you won't be able to say it. So she's no longer here. Maybe she is. What was her name? Alyssa. She wanted to be known as White Lady. Oh. I think it was Dragonashikwa. That was it. Because she's so white, so blonde, so fair, so blue eyes, white skin, blonde hair, and white lady. Even though she's part Poduademi, like this, she said. She's a Cherokee. She said Poduademi. And Cool Man, I forget, Cool Man had to leave. I forget her name once, but everybody had a nickname. So that's, everybody would say, siya na si ko indigenous class. When it was their turn to come up to the front of the class and present or whatever the case may be. Exam times, midterms, so forth. Mitch Bolo, folks, is my co-host. He has a radio program, Indigenous Insights, out of Baraga, Michigan, on the res there. Ani Nishmaster Ken, how intertwined is the healing process? Whoa, and learning the language. I would say it's very well. For me, I can only say that without the language, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it with as much heart or depth, spirit. I wouldn't be able to reiterate my feelings or my words as well without my language. The English just doesn't cut it. Although I will, and I do use English. But mostly I respond back to my first language, and I only learned English when I was about 6 years old, when I entered grade 1. Sandra over here can relate to that, probably, and Barb and Danielle. Kristen's here. So I'd say one cannot be without the other. It's the braids. It's the braid. The language, the culture, and somebody ding me. Tasha Beats. Hey, Tasha. So if you know of any English language, I'm here to encourage you to keep learning. Laugh at yourself, because people will laugh at you, and beat them to it. Laugh at yourself first. I says, beat you. Laugh at myself first. So I too, when I was growing up, and even later on, adult years, I hung out with the elders. I used to interview elders on radio and TV. First was on audio through the OCF, what we call the OCF over here. And there's those audio recordings still there. Those are from the 70s. I used to go all along the North Shore, and I interviewed the elders in the language. They're all gone now. So, but it's them that told me different terminologies that you don't hear anymore. Do you know what that is, for example? That's just one term. In this case, a fellow sister. So and that came from the old folks. And they told me things in the language that you can't explain in the English language. You can try, but man, it takes work. It takes hours. So, Kristen Cannon, I can use to that is more complex. Okay, than Facebook, but once you get it going, it will. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. As to the dash cam, no idea. Would have to know what model. Model, again, is model 4SK909. 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 And this is the cord that goes with it. No, I'm not sure if that's the cord that goes with it. It might be broken, or I've lost it, misplaced it. Usually, okay, this is bad. Okay, she's laughing. Got one of those laughing tears icons on there. Emoticons, that's the correct term, right? I never learned how to write it. That's okay. Writing was secondary to us. We learned how to speak, didn't we? I look super white, she says, and I was raised white. You're raised white. Can you prove you're white, though, Lisa? Miigwech for that. Um, Cookie, how's things in North Bay? Say I need Uncle. Uncle Myungwi. Uncle Myungwi, the last remaining of my maternal side. The Myungwis and the Polkes are all related. I say that because Sandra's here. Um, and we, we go way back. The Polkes who used to visit our last farm on Mobile Michigan, go dekkwang. Squatch we won got there. See that on Squatch. That's where we lived, and people used to work, help each other all the time. People this time of year would go to the Sunjagat, to the root cellar, and get stuff out. That was our fridge. We didn't have a freezer. It was a hole dug into a little mound. But you could walk in there, walk around in there. And I like the smell of that place. The smell of a root cellar brings back really fond memories. And all those bends along the side that filled the entire 2 or 3 levels, the height of that, they're all full of vegetables that my grandparents collected and stored over the winter to last until the next growing season. So people used to trade a lot in those days, trade for services. Nobody had money, not like we do today. Not like Ken does today, even though Ken doesn't have any money. Ken still has more money than my grandparents ever did. Because that was just not the way it was. Our means of transportation was horses, draft horses. Gee, ha, humba, ha, gee, back up. That's how the grass was cut. That's how we traveled. Later on, it was you cranked, for sure. You cranked the vehicle at the front of the vehicle while somebody or you ran to the front of the steering wheel and started with your right foot on the gas pedal and the starter and the left foot on the clutch, and your right foot covered the brake, the gas pedal, and the starter, which were all within reach of your right foot. Meanwhile, the choke had to be pulled out up here on the dash. And then you had to pump the gas with your foot to get it going. So whoever was out there had to be cranking that engine to keep skakanevo on with a crank. True story, folks. That's how I grew up. There's no electricity. Kerosene was our electricity. Kerosene lamps. Running water was the spring, the well water there. And cooking was over a wood stove. So we didn't have to worry about power outages like we do today. And we didn't have to worry about things I'm worried about now. Supposedly, why should I be worried about this stuff, right? Senseless in one sense, pointless in one sense. What went up with the snow? Judy, nice to meet you, Judy. Nice to have you here. We've been rambling on about all kinds of different stuff, and I was asking for questions. If anybody had any questions, say Bolo. It's Monday to Friday now for your radio show, right? Indigenous Insights. Me and Bolo used to do radio shows in Baraga, Michigan, that are still on my other YouTube channels or on my other Facebook channels, which I have to somehow bring together and promote Indigenous Insights. Because Mitch Bolo and Indigenous Insights out of Baraga, Michigan, WCUP, is it, Bolo, call letters, live streams, and has been a student of mine, and he has a young family now. And last time I was there, he was kind enough to let me hold his baby. So, yeah, let me see what it says here. Yeah, how many times you get pulled over on a horse, Nish Master Ken? He says, I was a bit too young. I don't know about my uncles and grandparents, but I've heard of people being pulled over on their tractors. um, so, yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a life. I'm 65 now. Whoops, I should take that back. But I'm lucky to be here. I thank my maker every day. Miwit nido, miwit nido. Each morning when I step out, I go outside, I step out of the house, and I say, miwit nido. And then the evening before I go to sleep, I say, miwit nido, or whatever. In between or after that, I ask for all kinds of guidance, strength, blessings, love for others. In the evenings, I'm pretty beat by the time I'm ready to hit the sack. And I've outlived some of my peers, some people I grew up with. For some reason, the Creator chose to take them home at that point. And for some reason, the Creator is choosing to keep me here. I don't know why. Minjit, as my mother-in-law would say, I don't know why I'm still here. She's 91 and she's still mobile up and around. Up until a couple of years ago, she could work under the ground. So strong she was. She was Plains Cree. Um, strong cook. Worked all her life. Worked. Keep it in the UP home. That's what Mitch Bolo. Keep it in the UP, Upper Peninsula. Keep it in the UP.com. That's Bolo's show. That's his link. And like it, folks. Go look for it. Beautiful music, beautiful interviews, and just having fun with the language and culture. So Mitch Bolo says, Indigenous Insights on Saturdays, noon to 2 p.m. WCUP 105.7 streaming at www.keepitintheup.com. So there you go. Way to go, Mitch Bolo. Good for you. So I don't know how long I've been here, and I haven't seen any questions over here except for Bolo's question over here. 2 questions. So I don't know where to go. Should I stay or go? Send me some indication, folks. Andrew Nikic. It's about having fun. Yes, it is. But at the same time, I don't know, Andrew. I think we all have to be responsible and accountable and not to take life too seriously, yet it is very rough at times. Yes, it is. So Nishnabs, I know, can laugh at a wake and funerals. Been to too many of those. Too many. So, but thanks for that comment, Melody. Thanks for being here, Melody. I was just asking the folks if they had any questions, please post. Kristen says, I second the language lesson. Okay, here's a language lesson. Well, remember that one we said earlier? Ben Bokash, you shouldn't cost. Ben Bokash was an old guy that I interviewed for TV here in Wiki TV5. And those tapes are on video still here. I interviewed a series of elders. William Galesh was one of them. William Triddle. And Ben Bokash is the one who taught me this. I had no idea what he was talking about. So I always credit the people that teach me. I wasn't born with this language. Everything I know, I had to be taught. And I had to listen and ask questions. So, we to get coin na. We to get coin. We to get coin na. So, try and say that. Don't write it. Absorb it. Take it in. Inhale it. Hear it. Feel it. We to get coin is her sister. Her sister. Because we were talking about whoever we were talking about at that time. I don't know. Maybe I said something like, "Well, who's that?" Oh, we to get coin. So I knew we were talking about two women, and I don't know who the women were, but we to get coin. That's a language from Ben Bokash. Ba. Did you hear that? Ba. Ba is for us here in the area. We know what it means. For those beyond here or just trying to learn, it's somebody that is no longer with us, as in physically living. What they call in the English language died. Ba. Someday somebody will say, Ken Piton Kuta Ba. Ba. That means I ain't no longer trancing around over here and doing stuff. So we to get going. Can you join the other one I just showed you? The one I just gave to you? So let me hear you put into practice. Sheila is here. George is here. My God. Must be a good time I picked. Maybe not. I don't know. But welcome all. Like I was telling earlier, this is a test broadcast on how to upload to my YouTube and with my blog. I also have a blog, folks, under my website. So it's in constant work, and I'm shifting my work over to my website more so away from Facebook because the website is where it's at. And so, Ani Violet, say Ani to your brother for me. So, how was that language lesson for you guys requesting language? Can you say it now? Do you know what it means now? Can you apply it now? Let me hear you. Show me something. I asked you earlier, all you kind folk out there, should I hang up and move on? Chimiwetch. Do you too? Oh, that was Mitch Bolo's nickname. Because everybody called him the Kid, Mitch Bolo the Kid, because he was hanging around the radio station for forever, ever since he was the Kid, so they call him the Kid. So that was his nickname in class. Put a little spin on it, as people around here will understand. That was his nickname in class in Michigan. So I'm told the audio is good here. I want some feedback, guys. Blah, blah, blah. It's nice to see you here, but I don't want to take up more time than it's necessary. I know you're busy. I know you want to get going. I'm sure I have things to do here. What's new? Tell me what's new in your life. What's testing you? What's trying you? What's competing for your energies, your resources? your thoughts, your thinking. What is it? Write it out, and I'll keep it private if it says so. Um, and one is Kristen is moving into an area a whole lot without internet, so she's saying, "Mama, pimi nong mo din ko," in the English language. Uh, hey, Clyde, how you doing, Clyde? Glad you're here. I don't know, I can't tell, but there's 27 comments. This one says on our episode right now, so I'll take that as good. If I had one comment, it would still be good, but 27 is even better. So that's good. So you want me to stay, folks? Do this? Or do this if you want me to hang up? It's up to you. Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to take questions and do the best they can. Oh, something floated by. Oui, marshes. Oh, another one. Oh, somebody's pissed off. Oh, somebody's pissed off. Oh, purple thing. Oh, so happy face. Laughing face. uh, I get all. Oh, I got a couple of hearts coming. Oh, Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, you want me to stay on? I guess that's what it means. There was somebody, you got that real angry emoticon, somebody pissed off. That's the way it is on anywhere. You're always pissing somebody off for something. Not that I try to, but I just go on with my life best way I can, be healthy, try and help when I can, help out when I can, and I can meet my maker someday. It says, you know what? I did the best I could. Theology. I studied theology in university, or theologies. Theologies are what religions say about their God, this God, that God, and so forth, and the pantheon of saints, angels, and so forth. Whatever is in their world. Um, so I studied the Hebrew Bible. I studied the Old Testament. I studied the New Testament. I studied the Gospels that are not in this Gospels. When you say the Gospel now, I studied all of them where they came from, and it was textual analysis. I like that. What that means is looking at a given word and see what it means, where it comes from, how did it get there, who did it come from, and I had great fun with that. And I had somebody 21 years old, believe it or not, a PhD at 21. He was a young guy. He was younger than me. I was 27 when I went back to university, and we used to hang around together. Well, not hang around, but and he could tell that we were both of the same ilk, shall we say? That um, he was Hebrew, and that was his specialty. And his textbook was this thick, and we had to read it for class. That's just for one class. That was just one read, and we read it, just the Hebrew, and it was eye-opening. So I know the same material the Pope knows, any priest knows, and that's why I couldn't be a priest. Tried to be a deacon one time. They kicked me out. No, they didn't kick me out, but they just didn't let me in. But true story. I just wasn't cut out for it. I knew too much, or I couldn't keep it to myself. So that's why I didn't make it through deacon school. No disrespect meant to any deacon or anybody following what they follow. But I was following. We were schooled in different theologies, so that was one theology, the Hebrew Bible, and of the times. And then we did the same thing with the Gospels. Man, I had classical instruction. That 21-year-old I telling you about was a genius. He had written a book published already, hardcover like that, and using it for class. He was a smart businessman. We were buying his book for class. And he educated, opened at least my eyes a lot. This was in York University, by the way, where I went, and I remember why I took religious studies. I remember walking down the road to that last house in Obels-on-Nishing where my maternal grandparents lived. I remember thinking to myself, why did the church do what it did to people everywhere worldwide? Didn't know it at the time, but 25 years later, whatever, 20 years later, I went to university and studied. I got my answer. So I don't recall anybody putting that thought into my head and asking me. Mind you, my grandparents on either side were intellectuals and laborers and work with the hands and live off the land and share freely. But I remember people coming to my maternal grandfather for counsel and for penmanship, to interpret letters, write letters for them. And he was requested by chief and council by many times to help out in matters of this res, Wikwemkong, which is what we called Wikwemkong. So that's how I got my education, just deep thought. I couldn't not be excited by life because my playground was the entire res, the entire farmyard, the entire orchard, fields, root cellars, horses, chickens, sow, people coming over, haystacks in fields, making those haystacks by hand. I suppose the only ones that are still doing that, I guess some of them anyway, would be the Mennonites, some sect of the Mennonite. They do things by hand. They still travel by buggy and horse. That's how most of us grew up at my age. So I'm glad to see some horses around here in the community every once in a while. People riding horses bareback. And people just traveling around. Yeah, I like that. I like horses. I even took horse riding lessons last winter. I can ride a horse now, folks. If you need an Indian riding on a bareback horse, call me up. Hey, Bolo. Today's mild. Tomorrow, Monday, is supposed to bring to the northeast of Ontario a snowstorm. Lots of snow. Just when I finish finding my driveway, because we have snow plows that go around 24/7 here in the res. We're lucky that way. Trick is, if you don't move that snow pile, it's going to turn into ice. And I've made that mistake once already this winter, and I knew better. I grew up with that, moving. snowbanks. We used to play under snowbanks when we were kids. That's made a lot of snow. We don't get much snow anymore, do we, folks? Nor are the winters that much colder, even though we had cold snaps now and then over here. No, this whole lake over here on my community used to be frozen over. And people not too long we used to drive from this community to Jiwarani, to Killarney, on vehicles, trucks, pickups, vans, not too long ago. Not happening anymore, I guess. Mild. So I don't want to beat this to death. I want to thank you all for being here, taking time out of your busy schedules. I send you love and hugs and my gratitude. I'm lucky. I have my children. I have my wife. I have my health. I have my eyesight. I have my hearing. I have my teeth. And I'm still here, doing what I'm doing. As Fred said earlier, glad to see I'm still helping. So I want to encourage you to help. Get that circle of helping. It can start with the mind. Just think, kana the moon, I'll help you. Kamakwenmin. I think of you. Kamakwenmin. Here's another language lesson we'll walk away with. Kamakwenmin. 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 I think of you. I shall think of you. There is a past, there is a present, and there is a future in every Nish word that you hear. Kamakwenmin is I am thinking of you, I shall think of you. And as I said that, I was thinking of you. See, it's past already. Kamakwenmin. I am thinking of you. Good thoughts, good prayers, love, peace. Menop meusewin. Menop meusewin. Menop. Tongue tie. What that means is best of health, life success, best return on what you give in life. Menop meusewin. Menop meusewin. Menon is good, right? Menon meusewin. So that's your other parting language lesson. Menop meusewin. Kamakwenmin. We to get coin. So, how about you think? And we'll see. I'm gonna give myself a headache over here trying to upload this to my YouTube channel on my website. So I'm gonna hang up if I can get this thing to work. Oh yeah, look at that, it's moving. Streaming wedge, I'm gonna try to make this once a week, okay? So Saturday was the last one. I couldn't do it Saturday. Saturday was nuts. Today was the first time I've been able to catch a breath. So they're difficult in their sense. Streaming wedge,